Yeah, I posted some more stuff. All right, that's okay. Yeah, I'm recording this so everybody can. All right, so let's start. Um, we've got about a month left. Okay, so I modified a few things because of lack of time. So you'll be happy to know. Well, no, there's still a final. So instead of two projects, there's only gonna be one project. So everybody likes that. But I made this one a bit longer. Not a bit longer, but just more clear. So there won't be a second project, but this will be the only project. So really, all we got left, and we'll go over this, is this project. We have the final take home, and we have one more homework, which will basically be like practice for the final. So that's it. We got about a month to do those things. Okay? Doesn't sound too bad? Yeah? Okay. So I modified the syllabus slightly because I didn't think we had time for a second project. So if you look at the revised syllabus, the only changes are that. Okay, it's bigger. So scroll down to the bottom of the syllabus, and attendance is the same. Homework assignments are the same. We only have one more, but like I said, we're getting short on time, so it's going to be just for your benefit. It'll basically be some practice questions for the final, so that'll help you and give you up to 7 points. And then I just broke it down so the take-home final is 25 points, and this project is 25 points, and that's it. So there's not going to be a second research project, but this one is a bit more detailed. So we'll cover that, but everyone clear on the changes? Sounds better, right? Yeah. Okay. So one project, one final, one more homework. That's it. Okay, week 12. So what I did is updated the project a bit just to be a little more clear, and I added a bunch of steps. And so what you can do is open up, if you're on Blackboard, week 12, today's date, right here. Research project updated, and you can look at research project with steps. And I'm going to open this up, and also because I think it's helpful, and because I'm a nice guy, I printed out some copies for you guys. So here you go. If you want to take some other copies to Chris and Brian and Christina, somebody can.
Yeah, it will be because Christina lives in San Diego, Brian lives here, and he lives in.
So you probably won't see them until next time. I'll keep their copies. All right. So to try to make the project a little more clear, I prepared all the steps and then what you're going to do for the project. So if you open up research project with steps, it's the same exact thing you're looking at, so you don't need to double look. Okay, so you will see that
Oh, this is the same thing, right?
a little bit different. Yeah, same, right, yes, same thing.
Okay, I downloaded this one today.
Oh, okay, well, I printed it for you. Yeah, that way, because like when you're doing it on the computer, it's hard to go back and forth, right? Yeah, so that's what I thought it would be helpful to do that. We'll always show the ribbon. Okay, I can't. Okay, so let me go through this real quick. And then I'll go through a portion that's due next week. And then, once we finish that, and you have the recording and the demo for, everyone that's here or not here, then I can kind of, at some point, I'll stop the recording and then try to help you guys or do some questions. So the only difference is I made it one project, and I made it required to do the paper and the PowerPoint. But I also made a note that, you don't have to present, you just have to prepare the PowerPoint. So the project's gonna consist of doing, and I made it, because we have about a month left, I broke it down to 4 parts. And so I think this will help you kind of, not go behind and just do it step by step. And you should have plenty of time. And then really the only thing else we'll have in here, is the final. And I want to get an idea of when the final is going to be due, because the last day of this class, I think, is May 25th. But I'm not sure if, so I was assuming that that was our last class, but I want to make sure that students will be here. So that's supposed to be, that's our last class, right? Not everyone's gonna be gone, is that,
Yes.
okay, that's what, okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's like our finals week. And because this is supposed to be a 16-week course with the spring break, that would be week 16. So, I will have a lot of things due that last day, and I'm not sure when the final will be due. I can either have that also due May 25th, or I can give you some extra time after that. It's kind of up to you. I want to make sure that, not everyone's just taking off that last day. And number two, you can spend some extra time. So we can talk about that, in the coming weeks, but the final will either be due May 25th, or I can like assign it on May 25th and give you like an extra week. It's up to you, but, depending on what your plans are after that. I don't, what are your other classes do? Or-
Wait, I'm done with the other country.
You're done? You don't have,
So we have a big, like, so we have a presentation and like there's like a 15-page essay to write for that class.
Yeah.
You choose what week you want to do it on, so some people are already done with it. We just did this today, so he submitted it.
Individual paper.
Presented, but he.
oh, so you're done? You don't have a final?
No, I'm done with it, and I also did the case.
Well, we have a group work, but we don't really have like a final.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't know if you'd rather, everyone can chime in or let me know and then,
So, yeah, I will, next 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I will buy everything.
yeah. So the main question is,
So you can help me returning my phone calls.
yeah, I know, I checked my email at 6 o'clock.
I'll be
Yeah.
bringing up.
Yeah, that's my office hour. Okay, so think about if you want to have the final due on May 25th, or have like another week after that. It's,
It's better if you inside 20 people.
okay, well, you can, I mean, that's fine with me, just,
Let us have the final and let us see how good it is, if we can have nightmare or not, and then let us decide by that time, we take 1 week off to the field by 20 people.
all right, well, in the coming weeks, I'll start working on the final. And then, once I'm ready with it, I'll,
That's the best thing, right? Let us see the final and then decide, right?
okay, well,
Looks like you have to be confident in my students.
yeah. All right, let's go over the research project and we'll come back to the final. But just note that really the only two big things left are this 25 points and the final 25 points. Both take home. And really, we've covered all the material at this point, it's just applying it.
The only problem that I face is that you have covered every single thing, definitely, step by step. But it's broken in pieces so much, and then in between, in a homework, not as much. People talking and all stuff.
Yeah,
Sure, not only one people out there, they also do the same. So even though, like, for example, what I do is like, I write down step by step, what
Mhm.
data all stuff, take a note. So I'm not sure that, I'll be successful or not, in the research project or not. I have idea, but I'm not sure. If I fully understand your question, then I'm going to be able to answer. Not all of it.
Yeah. Well, you'll be happy to know that I made a much more detailed step-by-step approach. So this should help you.
Why do you work so hard?
They're the same steps. I just wrote,
But going through the work of writing his own notes, step by step.
oh,
He does his own, like, note.
well, but you haven't gone through the whole thing yet. You've only done like step 1 or 2, right?
I did all the way till 11,
11.
class 11.
Okay. Well, you'll still want those. I mean, nothing is, that's how you learn. All right. So I, I put due dates for individual parts. And then in Blackboard, I put a section called under discussions. There's a section called student research projects. Please post items by due dates. And you can just go in here and create a thread and then post your stuff in. I'm not going to give you like your full grade will come at the end, but I'm just trying to do this so you can show me what you have. I can take a look, and then if there's some issues, I can help you. So that's what this is for. Okay. Then, so we'll post those things. There's going to be 4 parts, or kind of 4 parts. So the first 2 parts are the Excel part, which is the trend line forecast, and the capital asset pricing model analysis. And those will be due next week. And you might even be done with this already. So I'm not sure. We've covered this a couple weeks. There were some technical issues.
But that's with the project I chose, like for me, IBM.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If you've already done this, then you're ahead of the game. But I know some people were having issues, and anyways, so nothing's due until next month, which is May 4th. So first thing is due on May 4th. All right. Then the R stuff, the simple forecasting, and the trend seasonal dummy analysis is due the next Saturday. And I just need to. I'm not going to grade these parts. I just want to see them so I can help you or answer any questions. Okay? And then the final research paper will be due the next Saturday, the 18th. And then lastly, I wanted to do the final PowerPoint presentation will do our last Saturday. And I put a note here because I don't know everyone's attendance. I know some students are not joining us at the same time. So what I'll have you do is do the research paper, prepare the PowerPoint slides, but presenting them will be optional, which means you won't be graded on it. So if you're here or if you're joining, I'd highly recommend doing it because it's not going to affect your grade. You're going to do a lot of presentations throughout your life, and so you might as well get some practice. But if you don't want to do it, I'm not going to make you. So that'll be optional. I'd recommend doing it, especially because it's not graded. It'll be good practice. But I can't make you come up here and present. So that's your choice. What you do have to do is prepare the PowerPoint because even if you don't present it, it's good practice to start. It's really good practice actually to write the paper and then summarize it into a PowerPoint, and that's something you're going to be doing depending on your career path, but quite a bit. All right, so that's that. Okay, so the revised assignment a little bit is write a short research paper, and I said roughly 10 pages, but you don't have to go that high. You don't have, as long as you do the assignment. It could be 5 pages, it could be 15, whatever you want. Just there's going to be lots of figures and graphs, so I figured that would be like a good average. I don't know how long your other papers were, but I just put 10 pages to pick something. Okay, and then also prepare a PowerPoint, and I said roughly 10 slides. So both of those things are the final requirements. It doesn't have to be at least 10 pages and 10 slides. It could be a little more, a little less, as long as you answer the assignment. Okay. So you're not required to present in class. If you cite things, make sure you have a references section and everyone knows how to do that, hopefully. So the goal of this same as last time, is to first use simple linear regression to analyze the volatility of your stock using the CAPM, and then you're gonna use 3 separate simple forecasting methods to do some simple forecasting and then examine your findings. So I haven't changed any analysis, I've just,
So this is the one that you taught us, like
okay, well, I'll run through it here. It's on this,
those. Yeah.
you mean the naive and the,
Yeah,
those are on, yeah, they're on here. Okay, and then, you'll see that I tried to make detailed steps, so you can follow this at home or follow it in class or, whatever you wanna do. But I'll go through, so basically there's like step 0, which is to get the data and choose your project, which most of you have already done. Step 1 is to set up the spreadsheet, and I'll go through this in a minute. Step 2 is to do the trend line forecast. You might have already done this. Part 3, not step 3, part 3 is to do the CAPM, and there's steps on there. I think we started this, but we still might need some help on this one. Yeah, well, I got it ready for you, so we'll be okay there. Part 4 is to do the simple forecasting methods in RStudio. And then part 5 is to do the regression with the trend and seasonal dummies. And there's steps, step by step there. And then I just put a part 6 because I want you to have this summary table at the end where you have, this is your forecast period. I want to see your forecast from the trend line, your forecast from the linear regression with the seasonal dummies and the trend, and then the whatever simple forecasting method you chose. I chose the naive, and then you can put R squareds for these just to compare them. So this is like your final table. Okay, and then I tried to simplify the sections because I think it'll be a little bit easier just to know that you have to do just these things. So all you really have to include, you could add more things like abstract and literature, whatever you want to do, but you got to have an introduction. You got to do the analysis, which is interpret the CAPM. How does your stock compare to the market? You need to present and interpret the trendline forecast and show your results. You need to show why you chose the simple forecasting method and the results. And then also the fourth thing was the trend and seasonal dummy variable regression. Are the seasonal aspects significant, and so on. And then lastly is just any figures and tables you want to throw in the PowerPoint and the paper. And then definitely include a table like this, which shows the forecast from your 3 different methods. And then any conclusion you want. So this is the bulk of it, the analysis part. And then the other 2 parts, you can kind of just, set it up and finish it off, whatever you want to do. And then everybody's chosen a stock. You can see those here. IBM, Ferrari, Visa, Lockheed Martin, Netflix, NVIDIA, Microsoft, Tesla, Apple, AT&T. So luckily, nobody wanted to choose the same stock, so I didn't have to worry about that. But you can see what other people chose. Okay. So that hopefully is much more helpful and clear to follow the steps. So keep that, look at the due dates. And what we'll do today is go through, I think, all of this part. And that way, if you have this already done, great. If you don't, you can follow the steps and watch the video. But this part is going to be due next week. Okay? Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I'll be right back. Just.
Yeah, all is complain. This is the first step, right? This is what you did. IBM. So this is the first step.
Well, and the CAPM. That's one, second. We haven't finished that.
No, because we did.
I know, we're doing that.
Okay. How do you get up with the question?
It starts, we're gonna do this today, but the steps start at the,
Oh, yeah.
from the, yeah. Okay, so any questions on just the overview of the project before I start going through the details here? Okay, so what we'll do now is that I've reintroduced the project. So we're gonna go through basically steps 0, 1, and 2. And then that should get you enough to do at least, and you have all the stuff to do the whole project, so you can do all this, this weekend if you want to. I doubt anybody will, but this is the only thing that has to be done by next week. And then just make a note that you want to finish the analysis by the 11th, finish the paper in 3 weeks, and then have the PowerPoint, which seems like the simplest thing, but it's often a bit difficult to summarize what you did in a small PowerPoint. Okay, so I won't change the project anymore. There won't be any additional projects, even though I was going to do that before, but this one will be enough. And I think this will be a good, I think there's enough in here to get good practice. Okay, so why don't we start, and what I did is I made another example because I wanted to have something that had all the data and not something that went public later. If you do have that, that's fine, but I wanted to, and again, I'm tired of using Google, so I wanted to use something else. Google. Well, I did an example with Charles Schwab, so that's the one I used. So I'm gonna go through steps 0, 1, and 2. You can see my examples under week 12. Here's the trend line in CAPM. This is the data set that goes into RStudio. So you're welcome to look at those, and then there's some supplementary stuff that we'll get to later. So everything you need for the research project should be here. The steps, the S&P and the risk-free rate, and then the R code to do the forecasting parts. Okay? So there we go. Okay, so what I'll do, just to have it on, from step 0, for lack of a better word, I'm going to start from the beginning and get the data again and go through it just so I have it on video. And if you weren't able to start, you can see how to do it. So if you've already done this part, you're ahead. If you haven't, then you can do it here, or you can watch the video later and kind of catch up. So the first step is to choose a stock that you want to choose. Everyone did that. I'm going to choose Charles Schwab as an example. So what you probably did is you went to Yahoo Finance. If it didn't crash, I wanted to choose Schwab, SCHW. Okay, you would go to historical data. You would choose all under time frame. There's max. Yeah, it's like loading.
You're gonna wait once you get all the data, then you get monthly?
Yeah, and I'm waiting for it. See, it's there we go. Okay, and then you do monthly. So Okay, so that's what you would do if you have, so historical data, maximum data possible, historical prices, and then monthly, all right? And this will start when your stock went public, which will be a different date than this one, and it'll go up to April, okay? So then you hit download. Okay, so this is the data set everybody got for their stock, or will at some point. Okay, so that is step 0, okay? Get the data, pick a topic, and yeah. So everybody's good on that, right? Okay. Step 1 is to get the monthly data and set up your first spreadsheet. So part A, download all available monthly closing price data for your stock from Yahoo Finance. That's what I did right here. Okay. This is it. I'm going to resave it because we had some issues last time. I think Brian might have lost a bunch of his data because it wasn't the Excel file. So I'll show you how to. So what you don't want to do is do all your work in a CSV file because it won't save your progress. Which I mean, I've failed that lesson before too. I've also lost data, so I know it's nobody wants to do their work again. But if it happens to you, then you won't forget. So part B is save the data as an Excel workbook. All right, so that's what I'm going to do right away, rather than work with this whatever it is, file, save as. Okay, and then we want to save it as Excel workbook, not CSV. And then I will save it maybe on the desktop. And I'm going to call this SCHW. That's fine. I'll call it that. Let me just make sure that's what's on there. There it is. Okay. All right. So this part, note that the only data needed is date and close. All other data may be deleted. So what I recommended doing before, and I think everyone did, is create a master tab with the raw closing price data from Yahoo Finance. And so basically, if this is your spreadsheet, I'm going to make this tab just called master. Okay, and you can leave all this stuff if you want. But like I said, all we're gonna use is the date and the closing. So I'm gonna delete the rest of the stuff. You're welcome to leave it. We just don't need it for this project. So I'm gonna delete close. I'm sorry, not close, whatever I did first. Open. I'm gonna delete open, high, low, adjusted close, and volume. Okay, so again, you're welcome to leave all those things in there if you want, but all you need is the date and the closing price. Okay, then format the closing column as currency with 2 decimals, and that's optional. But I like to have it as currency because it tells me this is the price of the stock. So format cells, currency, 2 decimals, $sign. Okay. All right, so now we've got our date, which should go from 10/1 or whatever date the stock went public up until April 1st. And you'll notice that if you just download it, you have an extra April date. It's the same price, but you can delete that because you only need the one. Okay, so to start the project, you have to have monthly closing prices for the stock from the date, the month the stock went public, which in this case was October 1987. It's going to be different for your stock unless it happened to be public in the same month, which is unlikely. And then your most recent date should be April 2024. Okay? So, part C from month one is your data shed should show the monthly closing price from the date the stock went public to the current month, and everyone should have data up to 4/1 because that's the most recent month. So just confirm that. Okay. Everybody good on this? Yeah. All right. So you can see that Charles Schwab started at 17 cents a share in October 1987, is now about $75 a share in April. Okay. So that's that. Okay. Now, step 2 is to do the trend line forecast, which again, some of you might have already done, but I want to go through it again just to clarify. So what you're going to do is use Excel's trendline tools to get a 1-year forecast. Okay. So first, create a separate tab called trendline. So that's our master tab. I'll call this trendline. Okay.
So you want to do separate?
I think you already did, right?
Yeah, but I didn't same.
Oh, that's okay. As long as this is, I mean, you don't have to, but
We made us the same thing.
I did.
What?
Don't you have a master tab though?
I have a master tab and a work data and a DBA675.
Oh, okay. So
Yes,
I guess working data is the same. Yeah, I decided I'd give it a different name because there's going to be 2 working tabs.
right. You made us do that IBM master, working data, and a PA.
Okay, so working data is the same as trendline. Yeah, but I'd change my title, I guess. Okay, but yeah, same thing. Either one's fine. All right, then you would copy and paste the date and close data columns into the trendline tab. So what you would do is from the master data, take all of this, Control A, and Control C is the shortcut. And then in the trendline or the working data, paste it, Control V. All right, so now you've got the same thing, which is all the months, all the closing prices up to April 1st. Now, what you need to do here, if you didn't do this, is add the 12 months, 1 year that you're going to forecast in the date column. So I think we did this last time, but just to clarify if you missed it, or if I miss.
You do, I mean, because my one last time is different than the one you show right now.
It's different?
So you have a date and closing price, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, so you just copy the date and closing.
Yep.
That's it, right?
That's it.
But okay.
Yeah, we haven't got to the next part yet.
Same thing, right?
Yep, same thing. Yeah, up to now it's just the same thing. So now we'll leave our master stuff and go here, and then we're going to add the 12 months at the bottom, right? So what you would do is just get enough data till Excel recognizes the pattern, and that's probably at least all the 2024s, and select them, and then grab the bottom right corner and count up a year. Is it 5/1? Okay, 1. Oh, that's 13. Sorry.
You put in 4/1,
Yeah.
2025.
Yeah. Okay, so, right, you're forecasting 12 months, correct, which are April, May,
You're right.
yeah. May, June, yeah, all the way up to next April, okay? So these are the months you're gonna be forecasting because they haven't happened yet, right? So next month, you can, if you get your forecast done, you can compare it and see if it was how it was. Should go from, the forecast period is 5/1 to 4/1 in monthly, 5/1/2024 to 4/1/2025. Okay, the next step is 2B. Create a column called month or observations, which we did last time, I think. I might have called it observations, I'm not sure, but in column A, or you want to add a column A, so click on column A, and then home tab, insert, okay?
In last class, in one page you put column A, you put operation, column B you put getting.
Oh yeah, we're getting there, yeah. So column A, it could be observations. I'm gonna call it month this time because I like this title better. It doesn't make a difference. So observations is the same as month, but it's either month 1 or observation 1 or what, et cetera. So month 1, so this is the very first month, right? I just changed the name to month. But it doesn't make a difference. Okay, that works. Okay, so what you want to do is number your observations manually. So you can do in A2 it's a 1, in A3 it's observation 2, in A4 it's observation 3, and then you should have enough here to select A2 to A4 and just manually count up till you count all the observations like this. So including the forecasts, I have 451 observations. You're gonna have a different number because you have a different data range, okay? And you gotta have those numbers because this trend line is a time variable and these are the X variables. Okay? Now, okay. Number the observations, number the months or observations manually using Excel's autofill feature, including the forecast months. So we just did that. Okay. All right. Let's make sure. Okay. Step 2C. Simultaneously select the month/observations column, which is exactly what you called it, and the close column, entire date range, including the forecasting months. So we're going to create a time plot, a scatter plot of closing price and month observation, right? So we're going to go back here and choose all the month. I'm going to do Shift Control down, and all of the closing, which I'm going to do, just hold the Shift key and choose it manually like this. Okay, up to that last one. Oops. Oh, yes. Okay, so month and close. There we go. Okay, so I've selected month and close, and you got all the data up to 452, right? Or up to whatever you're. Okay, then we'll do insert, scatter chart, and scatter. Okay, and I'll put this, make that a little bigger. Okay, and you can do some formatting if you want. I think I put a couple comments here. So create a scatter plot of closing price over time, monthly, which we did. You can title your graph and axes labels. And I put in a legend here, which I think is useful when you get the trend line. So you can add a legend with the options, okay? All right, so let's see. I like this one. Doing it last time, I think. No.
You end up keeping the same thing. You said you want forward. But when you click the 12 month,
Yeah,
you find it. You don't find it.
I can find it now.
Oh,
Yeah, I know how to do that now. I'm just trying to choose which graph I like. I like this one. A little, yeah? All right, so let's call this,
you put, you put it close.
historical closing price? Okay, I'll put, Charles Schwab, spell that. Historical closing price. Okay, something like that. Charles Schwab historical closing price. Okay. Then I'm gonna add, on the plus sign or under chart design, add chart elements, either one. But I'll use the plus sign because it's a little quicker. So chart elements, let's add uh, axes titles, and let's add legend. And I'm gonna put the legend, I'd like it on the top a little bit better, but that's up to you. And then when you put in your trend line, it should add it to the legend so you can see both. So there's the closing price. It's the only thing we have now. But when we put in the trend line, it should go up in the legend. Okay, and then this is just the closing price in US dollars. And this is the observation for the month. Whoops. Okay, anything else we need to do the graph? I think that's, oh yeah, we'll get, yeah. Okay, and you're welcome to, choose a different color or whatever you want. Okay, now, we need to add the trend line. So either plus sign or chart design, add chart element, trend line, more trend line options. You can do that, or you can do chart design, plus sign, trend line, more options.
Then play with this.
Yeah.
Play with light.
Yeah, okay, and let me, what's,
I never.
yeah, I know, you already have the steps. Yeah, okay. So part D is get your best trendline forecast with a 12-month forecast, 12-month forward to forecast. In trendline options, forward for 12 months, for 12 periods, display the equation on the chart, and display R squared value on the chart. The recommendation is to choose the trend line with the highest R squared, and note that this is likely to be a nonlinear option, okay? So back here, I'm gonna choose forward for 12 periods. Display equation on chart, and display R squared value on chart. And then you can kind of toggle through the options. Well, you're probably going to choose either polynomial or exponential. I can't remember. I think that is the one I chose. So let's see. Here's exponential. That looks a little extreme. Linear, not great, right? Log, definitely not. Polynomial, yeah, that one looks the best, right? Well, it's a different data though. Last time I did Google, this is. You're forecasting what I'm going to forecast? Well, you're right. I'm going to use polynomial. But your other options, I mean, some of you might want to use exponential. Some of you might want to use log. Some of you might want to use power. That was not too bad, but I like, yeah, polynomial, right? Let's use that one. Okay, there we go. So now let's mess around with this equation. So it's nice and clear. Format your trend line equation if necessary, desired, and ensure that each term has at least one value other than 0. So no 0.00s because you got to have a number to get the calculation. And then once final, include this trendline graph in your paper presentation. So this is going to go in the paper and the presentation. And see how it put the trend line up here in the legend?
Yeah, I don't see that, how you do that.
It is, oh, so click on the chart, click on the plus sign, click on legend down here. And then if you hit the arrow, it'll tell you where, if you want it right, top, left. This one? Yeah, I put mine on top, but you can put it anywhere. All right. It's not working? Here, I'll show you.
That's it? But it's not like yours. But it's not one line, going to have it.
Oh, because you have a different graph.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just, I have this.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay. So we got our graph. All right, so this is going in your paper, in your presentation, right? Nice graph. You got the historical data. Actually, we haven't done the formatting yet, have we? Okay, so let's move this guy around here. Oops.
So what you said, if you point 000, what do you mean by that?
I mean that you don't want to have like 0.00 because,
Too many zeros.
well, you want to have at least a number after the 0 so you can, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. What do I do here? Oh, sorry. Yeah, polynomial close. There we go.
I took 6.
6 is good, or
Yeah, you carry 2, you carry 4, and then we do 6 and 4.
okay, let's do that. All right, so I'm gonna click on this. I'm gonna right click it, format trendline label, number. I want 6 decimals. Thing. Okay. All right. Then if you want, you can like make this a little bigger, maybe. Just to see that's too big. That's too big. Like 10. Okay, maybe you want to add a little color. I don't know. There we go. Okay, so there's our equation, all right? And this is the equation for the trend line. So you can put this anywhere you want. I like to yeah, that's okay up there. All right, so everybody's got this part, right? Okay. So now we're gonna type in this big equation and then use it to get these numbers. So basically, like, this is my prediction. These are my forecasts going forward for.
I got only y, I got r squared. And my number is showing y equal to 6.9627 e to the power 0.0046x, and r squared equal to 0.774.
That's, yeah, you chose an exponential. Yeah,
Oh, because
yeah, it's a different equation. Yeah,
based on the graph.
based on yeah, exactly.
Graphs that are two lines, like exponential or polynomial, whatever, they're kind of like, you know, they're both close enough, but you choose one over the other, does it make
Not really. If the R squared's close, probably not. Okay, part F. Create a column called trendline close, in column D. Okay. Manually type in the equation that you got from Excel's trendline options, and make sure that the first X is month 1, which is probably cell A2. For example, this was my equation, but obviously don't use this equation, use your equation from the graph. So what you're gonna do is, based on this equation, I need to type it in just once and then apply it down. So running from this equation, remember yours is gonna be a little bit different, but in D2, mine is equals, parentheses, 0.000420. Oh, oops, I don't have my number lock on. Equals, parentheses. How do I get this? There we go, okay. 0.000420 times, parentheses, so x1 is gonna be a2, and then mine's gonna go raised or squared, so where's that thing? Raised 2, parentheses, parentheses, minus, parentheses, and then I'm gonna type in the second term, 0.047816 times A2, and then plus 4.947323. All right, so let's double check that.
My equation is different than how you code, you know, say.
Yeah,
It was equal sign. Then I got y equal to 6.927, and then multiply exponent, the power what I got, multiplied by A2, the month. That's it.
yeah, that sounds right. I think your equation was just different, right?
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So, depending on the graph, I'll get different equations.
Well, because you chose an exponential equation, I chose a polynomial equation.
I have to put every single thing over there, right? So I have to put y, I have to put
No, you just put whatever in your equation.
so in this equation you have y,
I have this term, and this term.
not the r square.
Not the R's. Yeah, that's not the equation.
Okay, okay, I got it. So in my case, I only have to put the y value over there. Whatever I have.
Yeah, where it says y equals, just type in everything after the equals. Yeah.
And I'll find the x. Where I can get a formula, the way it's given to me, or I have to write manually?
You don't need, you can just show the graph.
I can fill the graph.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to write the formula out. Okay, let me just double check mine. So I'm comparing it to this. So on your graph, and when it says y equals whatever, that's what you're typing in. So in my case, it's parentheses 0.000420 times x raised to the squared minus 0.047816 times x, a2, then plus the other term, the intercept, 4.943723. All right, looks good. Okay. Yeah. So everyone's gonna have a different equation based on the trend line. All right. Okay. Last step for this part. Use Excel's autofill feature to get the trend line close for all months, including the forecast months. So all we're gonna do is click on this guy, D2, double click the bottom right corner, and that should give us our trend line close for all the months, even the forecast months, right? So it looks like my last forecast is like $68. That looks about right, something like that. Okay, format the closing column as currency in two decimals optional. So column D, home tab, format cells, currency, 2 decimals, okay. And then last part is now you have your trend line forecast from 5/1 to 4/1/2025 and save your progress. So just make a note that you're gonna put this in a table later, but these are your forecasts. So these dates and these values. Okay, so 12 months of forecasts, right? And these are my forecasts. So I'm basically saying the stock's gonna go up a little bit, like 50 cents or 30 cents a year, a month. So my last one was 60, or actually I'm undercutting a little bit because it looks like recently it's a little bit higher, but
So my IBM will go up $228.
for sure,
Yeah.
for sure, yeah. Okay, I'll take a look in a second. Okay, so for this one, what you want to have in your paper is this whole graph is going to go. This can go in your paper, and this can be like a whole slide. And then you want to talk about and include this in the chart at the bottom, which is the main thing. Here's your forecast. So that'll go into like your. When you make this final chart, that's going to go right here. Okay. So we've completed step 1.
Here equal to chart, right?
Just the graph, and then you'll put the forecast in a chart. Yeah. Okay. So
You're opening, closing data.
yeah, another thing, like what I usually do is I forgot this time is if you click on view and freeze panes and freeze top row, then you can see when you scroll down what the column is. So it's useful to kind of check. Yeah. Okay. So any questions on this part?
Okay, so that's
It's good. Okay.
busy show.
Yeah. All right. Good. That's
Because,
Well, you have the steps, you can do it now.
Yeah, I have steps and everything, I wrote it down each and every single thing.
But you should, but yeah, I mean, but the point is, you should be able to, like, if someone else gives you some data and says, give me your best trend line close, you should be able to do it, right? Yeah, you can do it.
It's not that I do know right now, because on memory, I have it.
Okay, we're also gonna do the next part, which is the cap M, because that's also due next week, and then we'll save the rest for next time, but do we need a break, or wanna keep going? Yeah, and then we can, alright, so the next part, so basically for next time, we've done the trend line forecast part, alright? So for what's due, you can just you can just post your Excel sheet, I can take a look.
So you're gonna send your present forecast, you're gonna send the gap analysis.
Yeah, basically, like, you're gonna add it's gonna be the same, just one spreadsheet, right? Just some, yeah. But don't send me, just put it here,
Oh, yeah,
in the,
backward.
this part, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you can take a look and see it, see what everybody else is doing. Comment on other people's, I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's something that I don't know. I'm only going to I know. So I don't know something I do not know.
Yeah, all right, so now, see if okay, we still got the,
When you go, yeah, I know it. Back up. I know it. You know, I can talk, but otherwise I have no.
okay, ready for the next part? All right, so part 3 is to do the capital asset pricing model. And we covered this a few weeks ago. So yeah, but let's do this again, so we have a clear. All right, so use simple regression to perform a CAPM analysis and interpret your results, okay? So part 1 is, if you haven't already started this, you can open up the S&P risk-free rate Excel document that I provided, which is under week 12, S&P risk-free rate.
Home there with the date, what date.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so here's all the data you need for this part, in addition to your stock price. Yeah. So you can, well, the next part is copy and paste all date S&P and GS1M, which is the risk-free rate, in your master tab in columns D through F. So I'm gonna put those there.
I have a question. Why do you call S&P as S and DP?
Well, it's S, like S and P.
Yeah, S and P. Over here, you're calling it 10P.
Well, it's supposed to be like the and sign, but it doesn't work with the column names. So it's supposed to be like, uh, S and P like this.
So it doesn't work. Okay. I got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, what is?
It's just it's S and P. Standard and Poor's, right? Yeah. All right, I'm gonna copy and paste all this. Control A, Control C, and I'm gonna put it in my masters section. Right there. Okay. So we've got everything we need here. All right, so we've got now the closing price and the date, S&P and GS1M from 7/1/2001 to 3/1/2024.
I have one. No, I do have, I'm showing you to verify. My, 10 PM, I have date, I have 10 S&P, R and R,
Yeah,
and BP, ER and BP, IBM, R, IBM, ERL, IBM, ES1M, and then date, ER, blah, blah, blah.
yeah, so you've already got it, we're gonna make another tab, which you've already done, right?
Yeah, I was trying to understand how this happens. How do you get, you got the date, you got the closing date, you got closing date. I open, I'm in the same place right now, I open the, camp, right? But, you know,
Hold on, so I haven't got to the part where that part yet, so it just, all we did here is put the date, S&P and GS1M into the master tab. And then I'm gonna start the next sheet, this next. See, you have another tab called CAPM, right?
yes.
So I have to start that for the demo. We haven't done that yet.
Different, yeah, okay, because you have master, headline, but I have only master. I have master, working data, okay, but that's why it's different, okay, I got it.
Yeah, okay. All right, so now, all right, so we copied that stuff in columns D through F. Yep. We're gonna create a separate tab called CAPM, which you've already done, right? So call this CAPM. All right. So in the CAPM tab, title the following columns in rows A through H. So I think you already have this, but I'm gonna start here. So we want date, S&P, RS&P, ERS&P, your stock name, which is not, type it in there. R, your stock name, ER, your stock name, and then GS1M.
What is GS1M?
It's the risk-free rate. It's like government security is 1 month or something. It's the return on a 1-month government bond, which it's risk-free because we're assuming that the government always pays their debts. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Treasury. All right, so let's see if I can just do this. Okay, so that didn't work, but now I can show you a new trick that might be useful later. Is if you have a bunch of stuff in one cell and you want to apply it to multiple columns, you can click on it and do data, text to columns, and then it will help you apply the different things to different cells. So let's see if it does it. Next, finish. There we go. See? So it put everything in a separate column. Okay? I didn't want the commas, but that's okay. So that's a useful thing for later. But we want a date column. We want an S&P column. We want RS&P. We want ERS&P. We want your stock name, which is, in my case, SCHW. R SCHW. ER SCHW. Not that. And then this one. Okay. So A's through H, we have date, S&P, RS&P, ERS&P, stock, return stock, excess return stock, and then government securities 1 month. Okay. So you can either type those in or do the weird process I did to get them there. Okay. Now, For the following date range, if applicable, copy and paste the following data from your master tab, which is date, S&P, and then your stock name, closing price, and the GS1M. Okay? So the rest of it we have to calculate. So I'm gonna do it one at a time because they're in separate spots. So I want the dates from master, and only the dates from 7/1 to 3/1. Copy. Right?
Yeah.
Paste. Okay. And then I also want the S&P from the same date range. Copy.
That one, we didn't have this, right? We can copy last time, right? That's, okay, I got it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Then you want your stock price. Oh, not that. Only from 7/1 to 7/1, 2001. Yeah. So I'll make it so you can. I'll do this as well. So stock closing price from 7/1.
Last time, we didn't have that. The last time we didn't get this number. You got date, S&P, RSNDP, ERSNDP, IBM, R, ER, IBM, ER1.
Ye-
That's what you-
Oh, this, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm copying and pasting it in first. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't. It's not, yeah. So 7/1 to 7/1, 2001, which is this one, all the way to 3/1, 2024, right?
So you get the closing data from 7/1.
Yeah, because that's the only data range that the interest rate data is ready or available. So 7/1, 2001 to 3/1, 2024.
Oh, but mine goes from 2008. Can I just copy all of it?
So what day did your stock go public?
2008, April. 2000.
Okay, so it would start in 2008 then.
Yeah, I
Because
just copy the entire.
you do, but then you want to delete, you want to get rid of the S&P and GS1M that doesn't start, like anything before the 2008, you don't have data for it.
I don't have.
So you only need what's applicable to your stock. See what I mean? Yeah. So because mine does, I'm gonna take two, if I haven't done it, so 7/1, 2001 to 3/1, 2024. And I'm gonna paste it here. And I'm also gonna paste GS1M for the whole range. Okay, and then I'll go back and show you what's going on here. Okay, so here's the master tab. We're done with trendline. And now on CAPM, we have date, S&P, RSNP, ERSNP.
We have,
Uh, it should go up until 3/1, 2024. Okay, but remember, if your stock doesn't go public until 2008, then your date starts then. Yeah. Okay. So where are we? Paste in the appropriate columns that you've labeled. We did that. And this is for you. If your stock went public after 7/1, 2001, then your start date will be the date the stock went public not 7/1/2001 if data is unavailable. So whatever that month is in 2008, that's your first date. Yeah. And then format any values if necessary. I'm gonna format just the S&P to be currency, so it matches up with this. Okay, and then this one you can leave, but make a note that stock prices are in US dollars and the risk-free rate is in percent. So the first observation, 3.67, is equivalent to 3.67%. So these are all in percents and these are in dollars. And then if you have the full data set, it goes from 7/1/2001 to 3/1/2024. If your stock went public later, then start from the date it went public. Yeah? Okay. Fair, do you need help?
The date, and they just considered. So far, I'm at the date section.
Okay. Well, here, I'll finish the demo and then I'll come help. Okay. So we're almost done with this part. So now we have to get the actual numbers from the returns and the excess returns. So in cells D3, F3, D3, and G3, calculate the monthly returns and excess returns over the risk-free rate respectively with the following formulas. If you did this already, you might have, but I put the formulas in so you can use them as a reference. So this one would go in C3, okay, which is just the percent change. There you go. Oh, sorry, not there, it should go here. I think you did it last time, right? Okay, so you wanna put in the formula that it's C, B3
But equal sign, right?
equal sign, equals that, and it's it's on your spreadsheet, your paper. This one. Okay.
It's equal, right? That answer.
Yeah, didn't take it? Yes.
I still have more data.
You should only have 1 month, one additional month, right?
Do I have to put all of this?
But that's the future. Yeah.
Do I need to put all the steps? I got 1 minus B, 82.5. The pump.
Let me see what you.
B Run for all of them.
Yeah, see, here's that part. So this goes.
Did we?
The second one, this is that one. C3 minus H3. Because that's the return over the risk-free rate.
Eight.
Yep.
And then
the next one goes.
what was he did?
So this, you did C3. You did D3. Now you do.
Oh, so it's going.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. Okay. It, confusing. Thank you. So, what's going on?
Okay, so then we are gonna put this one in D3 equals C3 minus H3. Okay. No, well, yeah, because, well, those are just formulas. So it's probably already the same, but I'm just showing you like from scratch so you understand. But if you use mine as a template, you probably already did this. But this is how you would do it without my example. Okay, and then you'd put this formula in F3. Okay, and then this last formula in G3. Okay, so just to explain what these formulas are. So this one is calculating the percent change or the returns from 1 month to the next. So my stock went from $1,200 and 1,000 to 11 and 23 cents to 1,133 and 58 cents in a month, and that's a return of negative 6% because it went down. Okay, so this formula is just calculating the return each month to the next. And this ER S&P is the excess returns of the S&P over the risk-free rate. So that's just the return in excess of the risk-free rate. So in this case, it's negative, but if it makes anything in excess of the risk-free rate, then that's the excess returns. And R Schwab is the return for Schwab. So Schwab went from $15 to $12.46. So that's a decrease of 17%. And then the excess returns of Schwab are this in excess of the risk-free rate. So it's weird that they're all negative here, but they're all going to average out.
So negative means what?
Negative means that the stock price went down. It's bad if you, I mean, yeah, just in a vacuum it's bad, but
Went down. I want to everything I can feel went down.
yeah, but in some of the months it goes up, right?
Yeah.
And lots, okay. So then what you can do, if you got your formulas in here, you can use Excel's autofill feature to calculate the monthly returns and excess returns for all the S&P observations and for all of your stock price observations. So what you need to do is, if you have the formula right, just in C3, double click the bottom right corner, like that. In D3, double click the bottom right corner like that. Same with F3. And Excel is going to apply the same exact formula for all the rows. Same for G3.
So we just, click them up.
Click it, just double click this part. Yeah. Like, oh, like this.
I started from the first page, the software public, I noticed you left out, like, the blank.
I left it blank because you have to have two values to get a return. And so there won't be any return in 7.1 because the return is going from 1 month to the next. And so one is just like blanked out because you can't get a return without two observations.
So could I leave them blank? I just put the formula in that first box for the first. I guess, most of it,
Okay. Yeah, you should do it in C3 because otherwise it won't, I don't know how it would
the
get,
same formula.
the same formula, yes. Yeah, okay, and then you can do some formatting if you want. I'm gonna format these as just, 2 decimals. Okay, in percents, and then these as well. All right, and then you should see that you have and I'll freeze the top row again.
I'm getting it somewhere.
Yeah?
Somewhere I'm getting it.
Okay. All right, so we have the date, the S&P, the RS&P, ERS&P, stock, return of the stock, excess return of the stock, and then the risk-free rate, and this should go up from 7.1 to 3/1/2024 for all these. Okay? So you double check your last row or just see if it's doing the right thing. Looks like we're good. Okay. Wait, everybody good on this part?
Yeah.
Thus far? I can help with after the demo here. All right, so a few more steps and then we're done with this part. So the only columns you need for CAPM are date, ERS&P, and ER, whatever your stock name is. Copy and paste this data in columns J, K, and L for the range 8.1 to 3.1, if applicable. Okay, so that means if you have the same data I do, same date range. Paste ER, S&P, and ER your stock name as values only, and apply any formatting that you want to do there. Okay, so what we're going to do is copy and paste the date column. Or actually, I'm gonna put the terms over here first. So date, ERS&P and ERSCHW. Right? Date, ERS&P and ERSCHW, and then we need to copy and paste only the range starting at 8 because July was used as just a month to get this first percentage term. So I'm going to copy and paste 8.1 to 3.1.
Everything pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah, right here. Okay. I'm going to copy and paste ERS&P from 8/1/2001 to 3/1/2024. But remember for this part, before you paste, do paste values only, because otherwise it'll take the formula. and do the same for E,
This one is-
yeah, like,
Date, I can take everything, right?
yes.
But, okay, for.
And then the same for ER, your stock name, from 8/1/2001 to 3/1/2024. Let's paste that in column L as values only. Okay, so over here, we just have the date, the excess return of the
Okay,
S,
this is the IBM too, right? I mean, my case is the IBM plus it's whole IBM, right?
the whole IBM.
So I'm taking date, I'm taking RS, NDP.
You're taking these here, date, S&P, and then IBM. You might, did you do the values only? I think if you copy the formulas, it will come out weird, but if you paste as values only, it'll just give the numbers. All right, then I'm just, what do we got here? I'm just gonna format, both of these. K and L as currency. Okay, and over in J, K, and L, you have the date, the excess returns of the stock and the S&P from 8/1/2001 to 3/1/2024. Yeah? Okay, and then we just need to run the regression. Want me to check?
Something is wrong. I mean, take them. Okay, it's same, the copy.
Okay, well, I'll finish this demo and then I'll come. Okay, then you're going to run the CAPM regression. You want me to check yours? Okay, I'll come check this. All right, so part F, we're gonna run a regression using data analysis and choosing the regression option. Your Y variable is all of the ER stock name data, column L, and the X variable is all of the ER S&P data, column K. And then make sure you check the box to include the variable names and run the regression. So what we do here is data tab, data analysis, regression. Okay. Y range is the ER, your stock. So L1 to L273 here. The X range is the excess returns of the S&P. The K column, all of it. Okay, and if you check the labels box, that will give you the variable names. So Y range is the whole L column. X range is the whole K column. This is the ER excess returns of your stock. And this is the excess returns of the S&P. L, K labels. And hit OK. And then you get a separate tab for the regression results.
regression analysis, what did you highlight?
Oh, so well, you just do data and then data analysis, and then put it, yeah. And then regression. And then you choose the L column for Y, the K column for X, and then labels is also checked.
I can't figure it out.
Okay.
I don't understand one thing. When I copy and paste, I have to do it. I cannot just paste it, right?
Some things you can, but some you have to paste the values only.
Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, because if it's formulas, if you paste the formula, it's gonna,
Copy, so the L column, do you copy everything, including the title, but you are,
yes.
okay.
This is why it was not working for me. I didn't put the area of the
Probably.
Okay, now you paste it, that's okay. Figure it out.
You figure it out?
L is Y.
L is Y, K is X.
Okay, now what do you do? You can do the regression on the side
Okay, have you done the regression yet?
now?
Okay. All right, let's redo that part. Okay.
Between the ER and. If I'm just trying to do the regression one, is that okay if I have a space between here when I'm trying to copy?
That's gonna lead to probably not gonna. So just put them, just bring them up one. Like, you gonna do that? Just like
Yeah.
how do you select this? Is this a shift control down? Well,
It's okay, I'll just do it the old. Yeah, I'll just copy and then paste it, like start from here.
but you could, here, let me see if I can.
It's really like, yeah, it's really good. It's the, but like the arrows don't work.
Also do like,
Oh, it's another?
I think so.
I hate it.
I don't understand this puppet over here. It's not like something.
Oh,
I don't know if I did it.
oh, yeah.
Did it? Just wanna make sure I didn't mess up the other one. I think that did.
Mhm, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much, appreciate it.
If I do Excel,
Uh-huh.
if I do mining also, I can put all of that.
Well, you're learning it, yeah.
They want more. If the things you know, the things I know, if you combine together, how much money I have no idea. Just the things, if I do the things, you know, I can make much money.
Well, you know these things now. You're going to.
I know a little bit, you know, like our A to Z, I maybe know N D. That's the problem, you know.
I think you know at least A through 8. Okay, so now let's run the regression, yeah? Data tab,
Yeah.
data analysis,
Okay.
regression,
All right.
okay? And then the Y range is the entire L column. So L1 to the, whatever the last one is, L column,
Everything, the title.
yeah. And then the X range is the entire K column for the ERS&P.
And which one is the other one? A?
Okay. So L1 to the whole range, and then K1 to the whole range, and then make sure labels is checked here. Yeah?
It is wrong.
Alright, well, I'll run this and I'll come. So let's hit OK. Alright, so we get the results, or hopefully we get the results. And let's label our regression tab CapM reg, or CapM regression. Oops. All right, and then let's apply any formatting. So I'll just do Home tab format, format cells, number, 2 decimals with the comma.
I have a question. There's a blank part on the top. Is you have an issue with that?
Probably, yeah, you don't, you want to get rid of the blank part.
What do I do? Take this blank part.
Just delete the, you just delete it. I'll show you, if you select it, like,
Because I need to take the, what do you call, title, right?
yeah, so just like these parts, you have blanks right here.
Yeah.
Just select them like that. Select,
How about the title?
no, like what I'm saying is, I'll show you what I mean.
That's why it's not working. I understand.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Oh, same, right? I mean, I could do that without thinking it doesn't affect anything.
Because you only select those two. Just move them.
Okay, so this guy can memorize the whole thing. It's a I'm pro right now.
I know. Okay, then we're just gonna make the columns a little bit wider. Oops. Okay, and we've got, now you have the beta coefficient, which is likely the coefficient for ERS&P in cell B18, which is this one. Okay. So then, in the paper, in the presentation, include a screen cap of your CAPM regression results in your paper and presentation, and then clearly interpret the beta for your stock in the paper presentation. So the beta is this coefficient for ERS&P, and remember you're comparing that to 1. So it looks like my stock was a little more volatile than the market average. So what you want to do is look at your coefficient in B18 and subtract 1 from that. So 1.26 minus 1 equals, whoops, equals 1.26 minus 1, 0.26. So that would mean that Charles Schwab stock was 26% more volatile than the market during this time period.
Mine is the full number, 57.
57? Something might have gone. We'll have to check it. It should be like around in between 0 and 2, or around there. But we'll double check. So this is the interpretation here. Oops. So 1.26 was my beta, and then 1.26 minus 1 is 0.26. So in percent terms, that means Charles Schwab's, I'm going to say, let me put this in here too, just so it's Charles Schwab's monthly stock. Oh, what just happened? Charles Schwab's monthly stock. Charles Schwab's monthly stock was 26% more volatile than the market during this time period. Okay, that's it.
So am I not going to show 1 minus, because I got 0.9. So am I not going to show 1 minus 0.9, that means 0.10?
Yeah, so you're gonna take, yours is 0.9?
Yeah.
So take 0.9 minus 1. Yeah,
0.10.
yep, that's right. So less, but less volatile, right? Okay, and then that concludes this section. So you should be able, after this and after you do your analysis, you should have enough for the trend line forecast and the CAPM, which is due next Saturday. All right, so if you get up to this part done, which is to do the trend line, the CAPM setup, and the CAPM regression, then you can post this Excel file by next Saturday here. Okay. So questions on anything up to the to what we did today? I'll pick up next time on step. You're welcome to go ahead, but we'll start next time with step 4 because that's where we left off.
Also, you do the things then it's writing the paper, right?
Yep.
Explaining
Yeah.
like abstract and all stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, I can write a lot of things. Okay, you go.
Okay.
I was in class.
Yeah. All right. So I'm gonna stop the recording for this part. I'll leave the meeting open for a while for questions and to help everyone in class. But that's all that we're gonna cover for today, but we'll pick up here on step 4 next
So
time.
my one was 0.9, so 1 minus